Greetings everyone, welcome to a new episode of Mr. BioinformatiX. On 31st of October 2000 BC, ancient Celtic people in what is now Ireland, United Kingdom, and northern France, they celebrated the Samhain. It is a festival marking the end of the harvest and the beginning of the winter. The Celts believed that on the night before their new year, which was 1st of November, the boundaries between the living and the dead became blurred. They thought that the spirits of the deceased would return to the earth. To honor these spirits, the Celts would have set places at dinner table for them, leave treats on their steps, and light candles to guide them back to the spirit world.
Tonight, the table is set for the beloved souls. Maybe their presence join us.
This strong respect for the past made the festival feel both joyful and little scary. In 58 BC, Julius Caesar began the Gallic War against the Celtic tribes in Gaul, which is now France. By 43 AD, the Roman Empire had conquered most Celtic territory, leading to a fusion of the traditions. Over the next 400 years, two Roman festivals significantly influenced the Celtic Samhain celebration. The first one was Feralia, a day in late October dedicated to commemorating the dead. The second one was a celebration for the Pomona, the goddess of fruit and trees, whose symbol was an apple. As Christianity spread in Europe, it began replacing pagan festivals with Christian ones. In 609 AD, Pope Boniface IV created All Martyrs' Day, which was later expanded by Pope Gregory III to honor All Saints on November 1st. By the 9th century, Christian influence had reached Celtic lands, blending with older traditions. In 1000 AD, the Church added All Souls' Day on November 2nd to honor the dead, overshadowing Celtic festival of Samhain, celebrated with bonfires and costumes. These holidays transformed the 31st of October into All Hallows' Eve, which eventually became Halloween. As Halloween developed in America, it faced restrictions in New England due to some strict beliefs, but it flourished in southern areas like Maryland, where European traditions blended with Native Americans' customs. This merging creating a unique American version of Halloween, with play parties for celebrating the harvest through dancing, storytelling, and fortune-telling. Also in Sardinia, which is an Italian island in the south. Halloween exists since ancient times, although other names is Animedas, which means little souls, Sas Animas, which means souls, or So Morto Morto, which means dead, as they are just ways to indicate the feast for the commemoration of the dead. The celebration of souls and the dead has always involved in the communities of the island. In many small towns in Sardinia, the tradition of honoring the dead is still alive. People prepare traditional sweets such as babasingas, which are cookies made with raisin and nuts, pani sabba, a sweet bread made with nuts, and also stimorto, which means bones of dead, referring to a type of viscous shaped like bones. Families set an extra place at the table for the deceased, or leave cupboards open, so they can take whatever they prefer. My dear beautiful viewers, surprisingly, the curved pumpkin is not a fashion imported from England or the United States. Either is from Bono, which is a town in the Sicily region in Sardinia. People there have chosen the cut like a face curved pumpkin as the symbol for the Santa Andrea festival. On the evening of the 30th of October, it is customary to get a pumpkin and then hang it around your neck, illuminate it with a candle, and go out around the village, making noise with lids and ladles. The pumpkin has a simple name given to it by the local people. It's called Conche Morto, which means head of the dead. This name makes it very clear what it refers to. But how pumpkin culture transferred from Sardinia to America? America. In the mid of 19th century, when a large number of Irish immigrants arrived in America, many escaped from the Irish potato famine. They brought with them a rich Halloween folklore, customs like carving pumpkins, and the idea of honoring the dead, traditions that would shape American Halloween and help it make it popular national day. The tradition of dressing in costumes for Halloween draws for both European and Celtic customs. Historically, people feared encountering spirits on Halloween, believing that the dead roam in the earth. To avoid being recognized by these ghosts, they wore masks and costumes. The Celts used customs to confuse spirits and protect themselves during sowing. They also placed food outside their homes to appease wandering spirits, highlighting the beliefs that the dead could be both helpful and harmful. From these roots, trick-or-treating eventually emerged. Early influences likely included All Souls' Day parades in England, where people received food in exchange for prayers. By the late 1800s, Halloween became more community-centered, and by 1950s, trick-or-treating had become a core part of this family-friendly celebration. But how did Halloween's spooky fun become part of modern pop culture? Movies have played a big role in shaping how we use Halloween today. For example, John Carpenter's 1978 film Halloween, it created a new type of holiday-themed horror film by telling terrifying stories. Family-friendly films like Hocus Pocus, The Nightmare Before Christmas, Beetlejuice, and The Great Pumpkin. They made Halloween holiday enjoyed by people of all age. My dear beautiful viewer, have you ever asked yourself how much money Americans spend over Halloween annually? My dear beautiful viewer, today Americans spend over 12 billion annually on Halloween-related items, making it one of the largest commercial holidays in the country, second only to Christmas. But what motivates our passion for watching Halloween and the Halloween movies? A 2020 study looked at how different personality traits like openness, conscientiousness, extraversion, neuroticism, and agreeableness affect the types of movies people like. They found that people with high level of neuroticism are more likely to watch scary movies. It's kind of like when you are already scared and your brother tries to scare you even more. My dear beautiful viewer, why do you think people who are more anxious or nervous might actually enjoy scary movies? On 19th of January 2009, a study was published titled Voluntary Arousing Negative Experience: Why We Like to Be Scared. The study included 262 adults who attended an extreme haunted house. Surprisingly, the study revealed that participants often experienced mood improvements, particularly those who feel tired or stressed. This emotional boost was linked to reduced neural reactivity. This phenomenon has captured the attention of researchers like Claesen and Mark Anderson. Claesen and Anderson have conducted studies at a haunted house in Denmark called Dystopia. The researchers found that enjoyment of fear follows too little or too much fear can diminish the fun. It's like when people spend the night in a scary hotel. For example, the Stanley Hotel in States Park in Colorado, which is considered the scariest haunted hotel in the world. This suggests that we seek a balanced level of fear, just enough to elevate our excitement without becoming an overwhelm. This leads us to another question. How might engaging with fear in a controlled setting help us learn to manage it better? Claesen and Anderson, they propose that facing fears in a playful context can better prepare us for real-life challenges. For example, when the COVID-19 pandemic hit in 2020, they saw opportunity in investigating a new angle. Did horror film fans exhibit greater resilience during the time of the widespread fear or uncertainty? Through a questionnaire, they found that those who enjoyed horror films reported fewer psychological distress symptoms during that pandemic. This raises an important question. Does watching scary movies make individuals better equipped to handle stress? Or are they naturally less prone to anxiety? Scientists have found significant differences in how different personality types react to horror films. In one study, researchers looked at how fear-avoidant and fear-approaching personalities felt before and after watching a horror film. Both groups experienced an increase in negative emotions. However, only the fear-approaching group felt more positive emotions after the scary movie. In 2023, a study titled Psychological Benefits of Scary Play in Three Types of Horror Fans was conducted. The researcher is an expert in the science of horror and investigates why people are curious about scary things. His research identified three main types of horror fans: adrenaline junkies, white knucklers, and dark coppers. The first type, adrenaline junkies, enjoy exciting and intense experiences. The second type, white knucklers, feel real fear when watching scary films. And the last type, which is dark coppers, they use horror to help deal with anxiety and other problems in their lives. For example, the adrenaline junkies enjoy the rush of fear, while white knucklers see it as a chance to grow personally. Dark coppers find different meanings in horror, showing just how varied horror fans can be. This means that enjoying horror isn't about one type of a person. It appeals to many different kinds of people, each with their own reasons. Watching horror movies can increase adrenaline levels, which raises an interesting question. Could this heightened arousal be linked to aggressive behavior or even crime? Actually, Halloween is associated with a significant rise in criminal activity. For example, the New York Police Department reported more than 1,400 crimes on Halloween in 2018. Forensic psychologists suggest that Halloween atmosphere encourages petty crime and allows individuals to express repressed aggression. The trend is echoed in Boston, where violent crimes can be 50% higher than on any other day. My dear beautiful viewer, if you are watching this after holiday, don't forget to send me some sweets. But if you're turning into before Halloween, it's important to prioritize your safety. Try to avoid walking alone in the dark areas. Always stick to well-lit places and go out with friends. It's wise to head home early. And here we've reached the end of our episode. Thanks for watching. See you next time.